Hello viewers, I am Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal stands before you with the topic implementation mechanism of UDHR, means Universal Declaration of Human Rights, means principles of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, how are being implemented. What are the implementing mechanisms of UNO to implement provisions of Universal Declaration of Human Rights? But before I discuss implementing mechanism for UDHR or Universal Declaration of Human Rights, I want to inform my viewers that the name of my channel is @Dilip Kumar Pal 9375. If you will search this channel in Google or YouTube, you will get bilingual videos, means both Odia and English video, relating to +3 first semester to 6th semester political honors, +3 first semester to 5th semester ethics and values, +3 first semester to 2nd semester political general elective, some videos of environmental studies of +3 first semester, and political science videos of +2 first year and second year. Let us start. Implementing mechanism of UDHR. It is found in +3 5th semester DSE-1 paper, and the name of the paper is Human Rights in a Comparative Perspective. Let us start. What are the implementing mechanisms or the principles of UDHR? Let us start. UDHR or Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a very important document relating to human rights, which has been adopted by the General Assembly of UNO on 10th December 1948. Following are the implementing mechanisms of UDHR. Universal Declaration of Human Rights is a very important step in the field of human rights. It was adopted by General Assembly of UNO on 10th December 1948. No doubt, in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, there are many provisions of human rights. But what are the implementing mechanisms or how these provisions are being implemented? Who are the implementing mechanisms of the UDHR, or who are implementing the provisions of UDHR, Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Implementing mechanism UDHR. Who are implementing the provisions of Universal Declaration of Human Rights? There are two implementing mechanisms of UDHR, like charter-based bodies or non-treaty bodies and treaty-based bodies. There are two implementing mechanisms of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. One is the charter-based body or non-treaty body, and other one is there are two implementing mechanism of UDHR, like charter-based bodies or non-treaty-based body and treaty-based body. There are two implementing mechanisms of UDHR. One is the charter-based or non-treaty body. Another one is the treaty-based body. The first category of bodies is the charter-based body or offices created by UN Charter and outside treaty system. The second category bodies are bodies or offices created as a result of various human rights treaties made by UNO. Both categories of bodies and offices coexist and work parallel to each other. So far as the provisions of Universal Declaration of Human Rights are concerned, it is being implemented by two implementing mechanisms. One is charter-based or non-treaty bodies, means these bodies have been created by the UN Charter. Other one is the non-charter body or treaty-based, which are created by human treaties made by UN. And no doubt it has two types of implementing mechanism. One is the charter based, which are created by the UN Charter. Other one is the non-charter, which are created by not UNO, which are created by not UN Charter, but by human treaties made by UNO. So no doubt there are two implementing mechanisms. They work together. They both are present, they coexist, and they work together in a parallel way. Both they exist and they work together. Now discuss charter-based or non-treaty bodies and offices. Who are the charter-based or non-treaty bodies who are implementing the provisions of UDHR? It is the function of charter-based body and offices to see how human rights will be protected and preserved. It is a function of charter-based body to see how human rights will be protected and preserved. They see how states are implementing human rights measures and are refrained from violating the same. They recommend for actions against those states who violate human rights to General Assembly. Following are the charter-based bodies. So, to implement provisions of UDHR, there are some two bodies. One is charter-based, other one is a non-charter-based. Charter-based means implementing mechanisms which are created by the UN Charter. It is their duty to see how states will not violate human rights, how states will refrain from violating human rights, and if any state will violate, it is the function of charter-based body to report to the General Assembly of UNO for action. Now let's see, who are the charter-based body? Who are the bodies of implementing mechanism created by the UN Charter? Number one, Human Rights Council. On 15th March 2006, UN General Assembly formed Human Rights Council in place of Human Rights Commission. The first charter-based body is that on 15th March 2006, UN General Assembly formed Human Rights Council in place of Human Rights Commission. On 15th March 2006, UN General Assembly formed Human Rights Council in place of Human Rights Commission. It works under General Assembly. It has 47 members drawn from member countries. It of UNO. It has following functions. This Human Rights Council has following function. Number one, it sees how human rights will not be abused. It will see how human rights will not be abused or violated. Number two, it sees how there will not be discrimination and inequality in enjoyment of human rights. It will see how there will not be discrimination in the enjoyment of human rights. Number three, it sees how people having no support will be protected. It will see how people who will not have support, they are vulnerable group, will be protected. It sees how people having no support will be protected. It will give support to the vulnerable people, means people who do not have any support. Fourth, it exposes perpetrators, means person who carry out illegal and immoral act. Another function of Human Rights Council is to expose perpetrators, means those who are carrying out illegal and immoral acts in violating human rights. Then in 2007, Human Rights Council took 3 steps like UPR, Universal Periodical Mechanism, to see human rights situation of member nations. In 2007, it took 3 steps in the field of preservation of human rights. Number one, UPR, Universal Periodical Mechanism, to see how human rights situations of member nations, to see human rights situation in member nations. Number two, to form advisory committee to give advice on human rights. Another step is to form advisory committee to give advice on human rights issue and provide procedure to lodge complaint by individual and organization about human rights violation. First step is that it has taken first step, UPR, Universal Periodical Mechanism, means to see how human rights situation of member nations. Number two, to form advisory committee to give advice on human rights issue, to give form advisory committee to give advice on human rights issue. Finally, provides a procedure how complaint will be made by individuals and organizations about violation of human rights. This is the first charter-based body. Number 2, special procedure of Human Rights Council. Second charter-based body is the special procedure of Human Rights Council. Human Rights Council has special procedure to deal with violation of human rights. What are the special procedures? It has 2 special procedures to deal with human rights issue. It has 2 special procedures to deal with human rights issues. Number 1, it appoints special experts to deal with different aspects of human rights. It has the power to appoint special experts to deal with different aspects of human rights. It has the power to appoint special experts to deal with different aspects of human rights. Number 2, it has formed 4 working groups, like working group on people of African descent. It formed 4 working groups. First working group deal with the people of African descent, people of African origin. Number 2, working group on arbitrary detention. Another group is working group on arbitrary detention. It means those persons who are detained illegally. Number 3, working group on enforced or involuntary disappearances. And it has formed a working group about enforced or involuntary disappearance. Means sometimes the authority takes some persons by force and will not disclose where they are. Sometimes some persons are taken by authority, but the authority will not disclose where they are. They will not have any information. Number 4, working group on the use of mercenaries against people fighting for self-determination. Another group is working group on the use of mercenaries, means rental soldiers. Working group to study the matter of rental soldiers who are taken on rent and who are fighting against people, those who are fighting for self-determination. And its special procedure include, it has also special procedures. Its special procedure include, it responds to individual complaint. Its special procedures include, it responds to individual complaint. Number 2, it conducts study about human rights. Number 3, it provides advice on technical cooperation. And 4th, it engages in promotional activities of human rights. Its special procedures includes again 4 things. Number 1, it responds to individual complaint. It receives individual complaint. Number 2, it conducts study about human rights. Number 3, it provides advice on technical cooperation. It gives advice on technical cooperation in technical matters. 4th, it engages in promotional activities of human rights. It works for the promotion, development of human rights. Now we'll discuss UN treaty-based body. These are charter-based body. Now we'll discuss non-charter-based or UN treaty-based body. UN has 7 treaties on human rights. Number 1, International Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, 1965. It has 7 treaties on human rights. UN has formed 7 treaties on human rights. Number 1, International Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, 1965. Number 2, International Convention on Civil and Political Rights, 1966. Convention on Elimination of All Types of Discrimination Against Women, 1979. 4th, Convention Against All Cruel, Torture, Inhuman Treatment, 1984. International Convention on Social, Cultural, Economic Rights, 1966. Convention on Child's Rights, 1989. Convention on Protection of Migrant Workers and Their Family, 2006. It has 7 treaties. Human Rights Treaty. It is by UNO. And to look after 7 treaties, they have their 7 committees. To look after 7 treaties, they have 7 committees. For every treaty, there is a special committee. These committees monitor working of these treaties. These committees work for every treaty. There is a committee. The function of this committee to monitor working of these treaties. They will monitor how these treaties are being implemented. These committees monitor working of these treaties through 3 methods. Through 3 methods, it monitor how these treaties are being executed. Number 1, interstate complaint. It means a state can lodge complaint against other state. The first method is that when a state will lodge complaint against other state, that state is violating human rights, then that type of case will be received. A state will lodge complaint against other nation who is violating the human right. A state will lodge complaint against other state before this committee. Number 2, individual complaint. It means a complaint can be made by an individual. An individual can lodge a complaint in the committee, before the committee. Number 2. Number 3, report by states. It means signatory state will produce periodical report about their action for the implementation of treaty and difficulty they face in implementing the treaty. But the committee cannot force them, rather request and suggest them to take right step only. Then finally, the report by states means every treaty has some member states. It is the function of member states to produce a periodical report before the committee, what step they have taken in the implementation treaty. And when they will produce a periodical report before the committee cannot force them to execute the provision of the treaty. The committee can give them suggestion, committee will give them request to take steps for the execution of treaty. So in this video we have discussed implementing agency of the provisions of UDHR. I request my viewers to watch this video, subscribe if you have not subscribed. If you have not subscribed, aware of your friends about this channel so that some students will benefit. Thank you. Have a nice day.